of a Greater Juneau Chamber of Commerce Lifetime Achievement Award. The first one we're going to give out was born on the 21st of September, 1949 on Staten Island in New York. The award winner's father was an officer in the United States Coast Guard, and he moved his family in 1956 to Kodiak, where he took command of the United States Coast Guard ship Bittersweet, which was a buoy tender and icebreaker. And those 2 years on Kodiak were transformative for this award winner's life. Alaska was on the cusp of becoming the 49th state, and at this point in time, this person came to appreciate deeply the unique wonder of Alaska Native culture, the history of Alaska, and the distinct nature of Alaska politics, all interests which would remain strong throughout this person's life. In 1958, the award recipient's family moved back east from Alaska, and that's where this person graduated from high school before going on to attend Wellesley College in Massachusetts, graduating in 1968. The award recipient then worked as a reporter for the New Haven Journal-Courier for 5 years before deciding to go to law school, and got a Juris Doctor from the University of Connecticut Law School in 1977. And the next adventure in this person's life was to return to the last frontier 20 years after she had left for a clerkship with Alaska Supreme Court Justice Robert Boutchever. And it was in Alaska's capital city, clerking for Justice Boutchever, where she met the person she was to marry, who was also an attorney. And our award winner and her husband established a private law practice, which remained active until he passed away in 2013. And together they raised a family of 4 children together in Juneau. One of the big projects of this award recipient's life was the MV Princeton Hall, which was a 65-foot classic wooden vessel built and launched in Sitka just after America declared war on Japan during the Second World War. And this was just a really fascinating historical project that she worked on, and it led her to meet Cyril George Sr., an Alaska Native man who had worked on constructing the boat when he was a student at Sheldon Jackson School in Sitka. And the friendship between our award recipient and Cyril George Sr. deepened her interest in Alaska Native culture, language, and history, and she was ultimately adopted into the Shitan clan of Angoon. And the inspiration of Cyril George Sr.'s life and work led our recipient to found the Cyril George Indigenous Knowledge Library at the University of Alaska Southeast. Our award recipient did a lot of great things to celebrate the indigenous cultures of Southeast Alaska, and she hosted an annual birthday tribute in honor of William Paul Sr., the first Alaska Native lawyer and legislator, very active with the Alaska Native Brotherhood. Also made sure that people in the wider community were learning about Alaska Native culture by helping with Southeast Alaska Native Radio on KTOO-FM. She helped organize Friends of the St. Nicholas Orthodox Church and the La Cercle Blanc Pérouse, which was a campaign that celebrated a French explorer's round the world's expedition in 1786 that is remembered both in Tlingit oral history and also in the French historians' logs. Our award recipient served as the volunteer legal researcher for the book A Dangerous Idea, The Alaska Native Brotherhood and Struggle for Indigenous Rights, which was published by the University of Alaska Southeast Press in 2014. And one of her last major contributions was to help be literary executor for the Richard and Nora Marks Dauenhauer works, who created some of the seminal classics of Tlingit oral literature. Our 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award honoree that I'm so pleased to be able to share with you did so much to make Juneau a better place to live. She helped found and lead Juneau Jazz and Classics for 3 decades, and also helped found and see through to completion the whale sculpture, Taku at Bill Overstreet Park by Skip Wallen. She also served as president of the Juneau Bar Association and of this organization, the Greater Juneau Chamber of Commerce. So if you're still wondering, the 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Kathy Kolkhorst Ruddy posthumously. I know some of her family are with us today, albeit virtually. I think her brothers, Steve and Hank, and her sister, Kristen, may be with us. And I want to turn it over to one of her children, Lydia, to accept this posthumous Lifetime Achievement Award from the Greater Juneau Chamber of Commerce, with thanks to all of Kathy's family for sharing her with us and for all she did to make Juneau a better place for everyone.
Thank you, Ben. Just hearing everything you've just said is bringing tears to my eyes. My mother, as you have all just heard, was an absolutely amazing person and an inspiration to all of her children. It's unfortunate that she's not here. She passed away just in the last couple of months. And I'm here on behalf of the other children. We are spread across the world. And so I'm the one in the right time zone at the moment. Hearing everything she has done, Ben, I have to say, there were a couple of pieces in there that I had forgotten. And so it's a continual inspiration just hearing it all over again. And I have to say, behind the scenes, she was the most giving person. And despite everything she gave to the community, which she absolutely adored, she gave so much to our family and was always there. She was one of the major figures in my life who spent a great deal of time teaching all of her children appreciation of everything from the great Greek myths to the local indigenous cultures to music, languages. She really was a person who had so many interests. So our family is absolutely very deeply honored, and coming right after her death, it's an even more profound sense of how much her life has meant to us and to the community. So on behalf of all the Ruddys, I want to thank the nominator and the nominating committee for your decision, and we're just so very grateful.
Lydia, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, Kathy touched this community in so many ways, and I think all of us online knew her, and you know, slightly different facets of her life. But you know, this summer we were entering Tracy Arm, and the Princeton Hall was coming charging through the cut there on an absolute you know, beautiful low ceiling southeast day, but flat calm on the water. And when I saw the vessel. And I remembered your mother at that time for whatever reason, and all the hours that she spent in trying to maintain that. And that was just one small piece that she's done to contribute both to Juneau and to Southeast Alaska. But that's how I remember her now, and will for a while. And truly, you know, I'm glad that we can honor her. We appreciate you spending the time to be here today. And I also want to make it known that, you know, this isn't the only time that we'll recognize this Lifetime Achievement Award. When we do all get back together for our banquet, and we can be amongst friends, we are going to recognize Kathy and everybody else today again, just to make sure that we have that time together to remember.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I hope that we can join.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll keep you all in tune. And you know, if folks have some words of encouragement or remembrance to pop into the chat as we go here, please feel free to do that. It's just, we don't have this would normally be the time for a standing ovation, and you know, folks just have a moment to throw it out there in the chat function there. That will have to do for now, but no, thank you, Lydia, for joining us, and
thank you
we do
to all of
appreciate
you.
everything your family has done. So,
thank you.
okay, so we will keep moving along in our program here. We have a second Lifetime Achievement Award to announce today. And this time, at this time, I'd like to introduce former Chamber Presidents Ted Quinn and Ron Flint, who will talk about our next award winner. And Ron, I think you guys are still on mute. We'll see if our past presidents can, there we go. Now we got it.
Okay, well, hey, I'm Ted Quinn with Capitol Office, past president of the Chamber of Commerce, with my sidekick, Ron Flint from the Nugget Alaskan Outfitter, NAO, past president Chamber as well. Congratulations to Kathy's family. She was absolutely a gem. Always enjoyed her company and her insight. So for this Lifetime Achievement, we're going to do it a little differently because he actually showed up on the screen a little bit earlier, so I think he may have a clue of what's going on. Anyhow, Neil Atkinson was born in Columbus, Kansas, April 29th, 1950. He was the son of Louise and Lloyd Atkinson, and Neil was the oldest of 5 boys. Neil graduated from Kansas State College, now Pittsburgh State University, with a degree in construction management. After graduation, Neil and two of his buddies set off for Alaska. They arrived in 1972, and as his friends departed Alaska, Neil made Juneau his home. Neil worked for the state of Alaska's Transportation Department and retired there after 30 years, working at DOT his entire career. He has lived in Juneau that entire time, less a stint in Ketchikan that kept him working there on a project for 18 months. Neil has two daughters, Rachel, who lives here in Juneau, and Tracy, who is back home in Columbus, Kansas. Both daughters are highly successful, and Tracy has Neil's only grandchild, Kelsey. Neil is married to a Douglas girl, Carrie Rose Atkinson. Neil, and getting into what Neil did and why he deserves this, Neil was one of the founding and charter members of the Mendenhall Flying Lions Club, and we'll call it MFLC as we move forward here. It was established in Juneau in May of 1983, and Neil has been involved with the Lions locally, statewide, and nationally. He has served in the following capacities. I guess I should look at the camera here, huh? Instead of the screen. He was the president of the MFLC in 1995 and 1996. He was the zone chairman for Southeast Alaska 1993 through 1995. He was the Regional 2 Southeast Alaska and Beyond chair 95 and 96. He was the district governor for all of Alaska in 2000 and 2001. And then he progressed to what they call the council chairman, which oversees Alaska and the Yukon, and was the chair of that in 2001 and 2002. He has been the Lion of the Year 3 times, 87, 88, and 89, and he was the district secretary of the year in 2000, 2001. He's attended international conventions in Philadelphia, Denver, Indianapolis, Birmingham, England, and Osaka, Japan. He has attended the U.S.-Canada Forum in Syracuse, as well as Fort Worth, Reno, Milwaukee twice, Portland, and he helped organize the forum in Anchorage, Alaska that brought over 2,000 Lions members to our great state.
Neil first became aware of Lions when he and his brothers won money for school clothes from the Columbus Canvas Lions Club following his father's death from diabetes. As a paper boy, the Lions treated all the local paper boys to a Christmas dinner and a gift. In 1967, Neil represented the Lions Club and the Lions Band at their state conventions. His service in the Lions is what he calls a payback for what that club did for himself and his family. Neil has been very committed to Juneau, and Ted will outline further many of the projects that he has spearheaded.
One of the main programs that Neil was responsible for, he was one of the originators of the paper recycling program here in Juneau. An ad of the May 9th, 1990 Juneau Empire advertised for hardworking volunteers to help collect, sort, stack, and prepare for shipping recyclable paper. A strong back and a good sense of humor are essential. By 1994, they had recycled over 1 million pounds of paper from Juneau, which equated to approximately 9,280 trees saved. All funds were returned to the Juneau community through the high school student recognition program, the Mendenhall River School reading program, the site conservation programs. It is unknown how much money was raised during the service projects over the years, but it was substantial. The program started with picking up paper around town in personal vehicles, vans, and pickups on lunch hour. It ballooned into the club owning 10 20-foot containers with various drop-off spots around town. Work expanded to nights and weekends, and people from Gastineau Human Services were coordinated to not only help, but give those people an opportunity to work on community service hours. In the end, the program was too successful for the small Lions Club, and it was taken over by Gastineau Human Services and became a commercial operation. Of course, now it is part of Juneau's everyday life with local curbside pickup.
The annual barbecue and auction, which Neil several times hit me up for door prizes for. A great event. And this was one of Neil's pet projects that he started many years ago. Proceeds from this fundraiser went directly to the Alaska Diabetes Association. Some of the funds were used to help pay for the Southeast Alaska Diabetes Nurse and send children from the Southeast to K-Camp in Kenai, where children learn how to manage their diabetes and enjoy a camp experience with medical professionals in attendance. Currently, the club has raised more than $200,000 for diabetes.
Another program was the light flights that you guys hear around Christmas time over the valley. This was one of Neil's pet projects as well that partnered with Coastal Helicopters. Coastal provided the helicopters, pilots, and fuel for this delightful flight over the Mendenhall Valley to view Christmas lights. All proceeds go to the Children's Tumor Foundation. That was Coastal's charity of choice. And the Mendenhall Flying Lions site projects in Juneau and Southeast is where the MFLC put their funds. Passengers would be charged, I don't know what it is now, but $30 for this short 8-minute flight. Some families come every single year, and one year a group of young adults came to celebrate a birthday. And yet another senior lady said she could check this off her bucket list. People who are scared to fly with tears in their eyes throw caution to the wind and return with a "I want to do that again" attitude. This is the light flights. This fundraiser has raised thousands of dollars over the year. To bring it into perspective, in 2014, the event consisted of 600 passengers and made over $18,000. It has been going strong ever since.
Vision screening. One of Mendenhall Flying Lions' most important projects is providing free vision screening to children. This is one of Neil's top community service projects, and he always found time to show up at health fairs, schools, and other events to help with the screening, often making the timid or scared child at ease. One year, the Mendenhall Flying Lions Club screened almost 1,100 children in Juneau and Southeast. Ronald McDonald House in Seattle. This was another project that Neil felt strongly about participating in and coordinating. This consisted of flying to Seattle and cooking dinner for the children. Sometimes the group would take Alaska halibut down and cook the dinner for the children. It also included providing toys and caps to the children.
Some of the other projects and fundraisers Neil spearheaded were just your everyday Lions Club functions, clearing brush and help build the handicap access dock at Twin Lake, the bell ringing with the Salvation Army, Holly sale fundraisers with proceeds going towards site and other projects, litter pickup, assisting in gold medal tournament, the food drive for the Southeast Alaska Food Bank, food drive for the Hoonah Senior Center, the bicycle recycle project in conjunction with the Juneau Douglas Police Department, a program that repairs unclaimed bikes and distributes them to families in need. There are many more, like Heavy Equipment Day, Family Farm Day at Swampy Acres, and a lot more. Just a few of those are some of the things that Neil was instrumental in not only helping develop, but participating in. One of the highest honors that Neil received was the Melvin Jones Fellowship Award. It was in 1994. This is received from the club in recognition for their commitment to humanitarian service.
Besides giving his heart and soul back to Lions, Juneau, youth, and the less fortunate, Neil loves his cabin up the Taku River. Before finding the Taku, Neil was heavily involved in softball. He's played in Whitehorse, Anchorage, Fairbanks, Valdez, Sitka, Washington, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, Hawaii, and Kansas. In the 80s, he represented Juneau on the State Amateur Softball Association and also served as the State Deputy Commissioner of ASA. He was instrumental in helping build a fantastic softball community here in Juneau. Those relationships not only blossomed in Juneau, but fostered great relationships throughout Southeast Alaska. Neil also coached Little League Baseball for a number of decades, as well as youth football.
I personally was involved with the original Lions Club paper recycling program and have been a friend of Neil's since long before the turn of the century. His commitment to Juneau, its less fortunate, its youth, and its environment are all in his blood. He's a kind, thoughtful, and giving person who I am so pleased to see get this award. Another unsung hero in the background making Juneau what it is today. Neil, Carrie, congratulations. This is long overdue. You're a great, great citizen in this community and a great person. Congratulations.
Congratulations, hell of a nice guy.
You got anything you want to say? Can you unmute?
Are we off? Yep. Okay. I am shocked. I don't have words. And Ted, you know that's pretty hard for me not to have words. So appreciate the nomination. I appreciate the selection. I am humbled to be in, I mean, just after hearing the previous nominee and what she accomplished and whatever, I'm shocked. I mean, it's been, I don't know what to say. Thank you. It was all done out of love, like you said there in my thing. My stuff with Lions, all my service with Lions was a payback for people helping other people in their community, and that's what I strive to do, was to make sure that whatever was needed, we would try to find a way to take care of it and be in the background. I couldn't have done this. I couldn't have done all of my accomplishments with the Lions Club without the support of my family and without the support of all the members, all the Lions Club members, not only in Juneau, Southeast, and the state, but the support I've had all over for the things we do, the things that Lions do. It's really humbling. I'm excited. I don't know what to say. Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody.
Well, a shout out to you, Neil. It's certainly well deserved, and although you can't see it, I'm sure there's some of your family and friends on board. I know Mal's out there, so anyhow, shout out to him, and he was one of the originals as well. But well deserved. Congratulations, and I owe you a beer.
Sure.
Part two.
Yeah. Well done, Neil.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, the chamber. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Lost.
Back to you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ron and Ted and Neil. It was just fantastic to honor you today. Your nomination was one of those where you think you know somebody just from being around the community, but then you realize that they're responsible for a number of the public institutions that we have now, and somebody who's just given of themselves wholeheartedly to those who need it. So it was an honor to read your nomination, and it's an honor to have you here with us today. And we look forward to having you at our next banquet and giving you some more public recognition. But thank you for everything you do for our community. Okay, well, we'll let Neil get back to doing Neil things, and we'll move on to the next portion of our program. We now have our Citizen of the Year Award. And I'm going to turn this over to Sue Douglas, who will begin the remarks.
Hi there, Mike. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you so much. I'm here with my best sidekick, my husband, Paul Douglas. And we're really excited to be here on such a special occasion. I want to say a big hello to all the Juneau Chamber of Commerce members and special guests, and thank all of you for this opportunity to honor our dear friends, Jeff and Marcy Larson. We have at least, I guess, 20 pages or so of accolades we could share with you, but no worries, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to hit the highlights and keep things timely. First, let me say that Jeff and Marcy are each very unique and talented individuals, but together they're an absolutely incredible pair. They richly deserve the Citizen of the Year Award, and for many more reasons than we'll have time to share with you today. We have admired Jeff and Marcy for over 30 years as we watch them grow along with their business, and we couldn't be more proud of them. They are exemplary business people as founders and owners of Alaska Brewing Company. Their national and international award-winning craft beer products are highly prized across our nation. Their success has made Juneau famous. It is well known they are highly respected for their excellent business ethics and practices, and their employees just love being the brew crew. So after these many years, what we see today is a greatly expanded and successful business operation. that is now in 25 states. A company that has the same guiding principles in place since its inception, one focused on employee development and involvement in the business, and with the founders and employees greatly contributing to the Juneau community. And by the way, if you haven't looked at the brewery website recently, I hope you will do that. We really encourage you to do it. It's really inspirational, and there's a lot more about their story that we can share here. So we also know Jeff and Marcy as loving and caring friends, good family caregivers, thoughtful neighbors, great travel companions, and just a lot of fun to be with. But moreover, their outstanding personalities and their personal values have carried over to benefit our community in a myriad of ways.
Jeff and Marcy are generous with their time, talents, and personal assets. Humble and private, their generous charitable giving is mostly anonymous. And thanks to their good example of values passed on, there exists an incredible brewery tradition. Each year, employees pick a Juneau nonprofit organization and make a significant contribution to them from all the tips that are garnered at the tasting room. And we are blessed that Jeff and Marcy have conscientiously served for over 20 years as donor advisors to the Douglas Dornan Foundation at the Juneau Community Foundation, as well as serving on many other committees and boards of directors. Needless to say, we are so fortunate that Jeff and Marcy call Juneau home.
So that's it from Paul and myself, but let's go to Tuscany, Italy, where we have Sandro Lane standing by to, I'm sure, say something quite pithy to all of us. Go ahead, Sandro, it's your turn.
Turn off.
Okay, can you hear me? Yep. Okay, yeah, well, I just, I'll try to keep this for the sake of brevity because I know we're on a time crunch. Wanted to give just a short history of my relationship with Marcy and Jeff, which started I think in 1984 when I was trying to smoke a few fish out of my converted garage on Long Run Drive in the Valley. And here comes this couple up asking for some funding for an idea that they had to start a brewery, which I thought was really interesting, but every penny I had was sitting in the bathtub with salmon in it. So, and their pennies were also in a bathtub with beer in them. So we had a lot in common already right off the get-go. And it was really quite fun to meet them. I just never did have the resource because everything again was in the business, but I met them again shortly after, a couple of years later in Lemon Creek when we were both bidding on the same building to move our businesses into. And that's the building that the brewery is currently, or the site that the brewery is in. I was across the street. I ended up taking a place across the street and letting them have it because I knew I wanted to move downtown at some point. Well, friendship ensued in those Sean Drive days, and they had their first bottling line and a lot of misfilled bottles and beers, and those got consumed over in my fish plant across the street, where a lot of trims and pieces of smoked salmon were consumed along with those beers. Needless to say, the conversations went on late into the evenings, and we had quite a lot of time together during those years, and I will say that a couple of great things came out of it. Jeff and Marcy both are great listeners and innovators, but you know, the Alaskan Smoked Porter came out of those meetings on those days, and we I happen to have one of those shirts over here in Tuscany, which I wear proudly. But we really did enjoy ourselves at those, we were also in our 30s, I think, in those younger years. But then later, you know, I kind of lost touch with them a little bit because I moved downtown with the business, but we always sort of kept in touch. But then they were living on Thane and so was I. And one of the interesting things that happened was I convinced them to stay in Thane when they were looking to move out. And they purchased a lot next door to us and now have become our neighbors. So Again, I'm now rekindling and having lots of time with the Larsons, with Marcy and Jeff. And really one of the great things that I've seen, and I think that shows me their character and their community spirit, was how involved, once they had a home and a piece of property that they could have their own dogs, became incredibly involved and heavily vested in the Sea Dogs, which is, everybody knows, is an organization of rescue and search animals. And the amount of time, I can just tell you, the amount of time that Jeff and Marcy put into Sea Dogs, I don't know where they come up with that time and still run a business and do everything else that they do. It just it defies logic to me. But I do want to make one other comment, and that is that both their dogs, which are very well trained Sea Dogs, Jasmine and Tango, have a very close relation to the Larsons. But they're actually our dogs, and we just let them use them. So, just in case they're listening, I wanted them to know that. And I guess I just can't. Again, I can't believe the amount of time that they spend on the Sea Dogs, which is a complete service to the community and to the region as well, because they've been involved in many searches locally and outside of Juneau as well. The other thing that amazed me, and I got to know with Jeff and Marcy as a neighbor over the last 25 years or so, has been the Juneau Community Foundation. Jeff quite a bit lives, breathes, talks, and sneezes JCF. And he certainly talked me into a long relationship. Now I'm a board member on the Juneau Community Foundation, have been for I think 8 or 9 years. And I really find that his effort and his time on that board is incredibly valuable for this community. He's done so much there that it's amazing. And then when I look at the things he's attempting to work on, and recently with this COVID situation and the pandemic, the hand sanitizer issues that Marcy and Jeff pulled together out of the thin air, which I think is incredible, as well as now the ongoing projects that I think they're working. I don't know that much of, but I've heard a little bit through Marcy and Jeff on the testing facility that's badly needed, that I think they're trying to pull together. Andy might have more on that. And I just look at all of those things, and it's just, I'm trying to run a business of that magnitude, and doing all those things is beyond human. And so I guess I'm really just here just to say that I really treasure our friendship, and B, what they do for our community. And I think they highly, highly deserve this recognition. And I guess in closing, what I'd really like to say is one of the things that Jeff and Marcy always have said when we've had dinners and we're departing, or whether we're on the deck having a beer and then we have to split ways, is that, you know, the last words I always hear as I'm leaving is, we live in Shangri-La. And, you know, Paul and Sue, you've probably heard that a few times too. And I guess I would say, yes, Jeff and Marcy, we do live in Shangri-La. And that's in great part due to everything that you both have given to our wonderful community. And we are really lucky to have you guys here. So thank you for being here. And with that, I will pass it on to you, Andy.
Hey, thank you so much for being there for us. I know it's late at night in Italy. You can go to bed now. Okay, now we're not quite done. We're thrilled that Andy Klein is joining us. He's the communications manager at the Alaskan Brewery. So go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Sue. I hope everyone can hear us. Thank you, Sandro. So good to see your face here in Juneau, stateside. And while Sue and Paul and Sandro are longtime friends of Marcy and Jeff's, I've really just had the privilege of working with them only fairly recently, comparatively. I've been at the brewery for about 8 years now. And but even before that, you know, I worked with Marcy, especially in my previous job, to coordinate many of the donations that the brewery consistently gave public broadcasting and continues to. And then I've worked with both Jeff and Marcy on philanthropic efforts such as Coastal Code. That's a multi-state effort to keep our coasts clean. And then also on yearly donations that we coordinate with community agencies like Hospice and Home Care or Juneau Animal Rescue, Red Cross of Alaska, Trail Mix, Helping Hands, Juneau Mountain Rescue, the list goes on and on. That's just to name a few. Jeff and Marcy have always been a big part of telling the story of Juneau to a national and worldwide audience. You know, by calling their beer Alaskan, even when Chinook was also in the title, you know, they knew at that moment that they were taking on the task of reflecting all the qualities of this beautiful, historic, wild place, and all of that's got to be in a bottle. And through the years, they've guided the growth of our brand into now 25 states, and with a reputation for great beers that far exceeds our distribution. They've continued to build the mystique of Alaska and of Juneau through that work. And I think that's a really important thing, that representation of our town and our state. One of the things that continues to be a feature of working with Jeff and Marcy is the way they never forget the founding principles and values of the brewery as they take on projects. And those values reflect on their own values as people. Alaskan Brewing was founded on a vision of commitment to quality, community, and innovation with core values of excellence, ethics, and being rooted in Alaska. So this year, when it came to helping our staff and our community cope with a worldwide crisis, it really kind of came as no surprise that both Jeff and Marcy were at the forefront of advocating and facilitating solutions for both our community and our staff. And Sandro, you mentioned very briefly there developments in assisting with testing in Juneau. That's ongoing work. But I've also worked with Jeff, especially to help coordinate a joint effort with the Juneau Community Foundation and the City and Borough of Juneau to supply hand sanitizer to the community back when, you know, back in, it's hard to remember, but that was a scarce resource a few months ago. Now there's a lot of bottles of it. But that scarcity really created a bit of concern among people in Juneau. And that was an effort, that was an example of that foundation that Jeff and Marcy have built at our brewery to push us all to be involved in our community and to make this community a thriving and wonderful place to live. So on behalf of the brew crew, everyone that works here with them at Alaskan Brewing and everyone who has worked here, I want to thank Jeff and Marcy for all they've done to support our community, with the prime example being their commitment this year to help keep our community and our state healthy and safe. So congratulations, Marcy and Jeff, from the brew crew. I have the privilege of representing the brew crew here. It's a well-deserved recognition of your community commitment, and thanks to the Juneau Chamber of Commerce for providing the opportunity to thank Jeff and Marcy in this way.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy. We're almost done here. There are Jeff and Marcy, and they are being visited by a special next door beer lady who is going to make a special presentation to them on behalf of the chamber. Go ahead, Jeff and Marcy.
This is unbelievable. It's the real deal. Oh my I'm wearing a mask. And, yeah, and I'm just, I got something to drink afterwards too.
Oh my goodness. Speechless, speechless. Neighbors. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Yes, we will be celebrating shortly here. I was wondering how Zoom was going to work for doing this kind of thing, and little did I know that you all were amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Again, broke into our house, just walked right on in, and here we are. But no, I'm speechless. I just want to say, listening to all of those remarks and comments, and it really means a lot. And the speaker before us, or the recipient before us, Neil, you nailed it spot on. This is just an incredible moment, and there's not a lot you can say because it's just so amazing. And Juneau is just such a wonderful place. I mean, thank you, Chamber. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for selecting us. But really, you know, what goes around comes around, and we have definitely gotten our share of wonderful, wonderful Juneau love. So especially in this year that has been such an amazing, amazing year where really the citizens of Juneau deserve this award. All of us, because all of us have had to, so many people have had to step up, whether it be parents that are now having to learn how to teach or how to turn on the Zoom classroom to get they're learning IT skills. They're having to step up in those ways, to hairdressers and restaurateurs that are having to turn their establishments into hospital clean places. All these things that we're all going above and beyond. I mean, truly, this is something that should go out to all of Juneau right now, because this is the place I would want to be during this time because of Juneau, because of the people that are here.
When we moved up to Alaska about 38 years ago, I'd have to say that many times I would talk about how beautiful it is, and of course today is a gorgeous day. But it wasn't very long that I started talking more about the people, because really our town and our community is made up of wonderful people, and that is what makes Juneau and Alaska so special. And there's no question. Yes, we have National Geographic views all the time, even when it's pretty inclement. But it's the people that make this town, and we've heard a lot about some amazing lifetime achievement awards that are really populating our town with such quality and love. So it's humbling to be recognized in this fashion, and I think Marcy said it well. There are many heroes in our town, and it's really great to be living here in Juneau.
Thank you, Juneau Chamber of Commerce, and for the folks who came up with our names out of the many people there are. Thank you very much. This means a lot, and yeah, this is very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff and Marcy. We love you. We honor you. We thank you for being great business leaders, terrific community supporters. Congratulations on this great honor that you richly deserve, both of you. And I think with that, we'll turn it back to our host, Mike Satry. Thank you so much.
Sue, thank you so much, and for starting us off, and Sandro and Andy, we really appreciate the kind words. Jeff and Marcy, it's just fantastic to recognize you two. You know, we've all seen what you've done for this community, but the way you've stepped up over this past year to make sure that we're continuing to move forward, and that we stay, you know, safe and healthy, and we have opportunities in the future. It's just been incredible to watch. So it's a pleasure to have you as our Citizens of the Year. And once again, can't wait to recognize both of you in person at our first chance we can. So thanks for joining us today, and hopefully we all can have neighbors like you do that beer and gold pans when we're recognized. So thank you so much. With that, I'm going to turn things back to Charlie Williams. I think we still have just a little bit of business to do, so hopefully everybody will stay online for a minute. But do appreciate everybody staying, you know, attending today and being able to recognize our Lifetime Achievement Award winners and our Citizens of the Year. But with that, back to Charlie. Looks like you guys are on mute there, Charlie.
Okay, thanks, Mike. You and your committee have done a great job this year. Well done. Very deserving people for the awards, spot on for this year. So thank you for all the work that you've done to bring those accolades to those people that are so well deserved. So normally during our annual banquet, we also acknowledge our directors that are terming out. And so I want to take this opportunity now to acknowledge those directors who have served on the chamber. So I've been a chamber board member for over 6 years, and like other board members, I find this commitment to be extremely rewarding, and I appreciate the role the chamber plays in the business community. However, as our bylaws require, directors term out. So today, I'd like to thank our board members that have termed out: Erica Simpson, Eric Erickson, and Richard Burns. Erica, first I'd like to thank Erica. And Eric has a plaque here for Erica that, yes, there it is. Erica has been instrumental in the planning and design of our annual dinners, and that has become the event of the year in Juneau. She's put a great deal of work into that over the last few years. And so please accept this service plaque along with my thanks to you for your service. And Erica, would you like to say anything?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys. I know that I think it's been 8 years, and I think I might have taken a little break in between there somewhere, but I wanted to say thank you to Craig, Charlie, Richard, everybody on the board, because I know that with my schedule, I'm not always the easiest person to track down, but thank you for all of the time that you guys have put in over the years as well. And I love this community, and I love serving with you guys, and I'm just looking forward to seeing Juneau have a comeback, and you know, I want to see businesses grow, and I want to see this town do well, and I really enjoyed working with you guys and having the opportunity to make that happen together. So thank you.
Thank you, Erica. It's wonderful to have people like you who have dedicated their time to the board, and you've done a great job. So next is Eric Erickson. Eric also started his service to the board in 2014. Eric served as the chair of government affairs and was president of the chamber in 2016-17. Eric was close to finishing his second term, his 6th year, when an opportunity to take a position in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas came up, and he made the bold move to leave Juneau and leave us at the chamber. So we assume that Erica has traded extra tufts for cowboy boots, and I want to thank Eric for his service to the chamber and wish him well in his future endeavors. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me, Charlie?
We can hear you, Eric.
All right. Well, thank you. And I do have a pair of cowboy boots now, but I keep them right next to my extra tufts. Certainly a privilege and an honor, as always, to be part of the Juneau Chamber and Juneau. It's always dear to my heart. So it's a joy to see all of you folks today, and thank you for the recognition, and just you know, acknowledge the things that Erica was saying. Juneau is and will always be successful because of the great people. So thank you for everything you guys are doing, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Well, Eric, thank you for your efforts on our board, and we really hope that you get tired of that hot, dusty climate and come back to the rainy southeast so that we can see your smiling face again and enjoy your company. So, finally, Richard Burns. What can we say about Richard? Richard is active in every committee of the chamber. He was the president of the chamber in 2017 and 18. And he has been someone who's been a major supporter of the mission of the chamber, and very consistently doing that. And his promotion and his major promotion of Look Local First is a wonderful, wonderful thing for our community, our business community. So Richard, thank you very much for your service.
Well, thank you, Charlie, and it's been an amazing honor to serve on the chamber board, and as the president. Nothing could be better than being involved with such an amazing group of people. And thanks, Charlie, for your job as president over the last year. You've done a terrific job of that too. So what I'd say to anyone who would be thinking about serving on the chamber board is do it, because it's absolutely well worth the time that you put into it. So thank you.
Ah, well-deserved kiss. So I really want to thank you once again, all of you. Your achievements and your dedication and support of the chamber have really improved the Juneau Chamber, and I believe the chamber is held in high esteem because of your efforts, and I really want to thank you for those efforts. And so at this point, even though he took over 3 weeks ago, I'd like to formally recognize and pass the gavel to the new Juneau Chamber of Commerce Board President, Eric Forst. And here's your gavel, and
wow,
take over.
That is a cool gavel. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. And at this point, I think it's my job to recognize you and thank you for your year of service. You did an amazing job as president, and we had a difficult year with a lot of changes and going to Zoom and just not being able to hold events. And it was a very, very challenging year, and you, through the whole time, were steadfast and steady and kept the chamber moving forward and taking and still advocating for business and everybody in town. So with that, here's your plaque.
All right.
With all of your board members on there. Congratulations.
All right.
And you can officially relax now.
All right, I'll do that.
All right, I am very pleased and honored to be serving as president of the chamber for this coming year. I also echo Charlie's remarks on serving as a board member and able to lead the chamber in our mission to protect, promote, and serve the business community. And to that end, I would like to introduce the newest members of the chamber board. I am super excited to welcome Laura Martinson, owner of Caribou Crossings, Scott Bergman from the Alaskan Fudge Company, and Ray Thibodeau from Alaska Marine Lines, and Connie Hulbert, president of Alaska Electric Light and Power. I am beyond excited to have all four of you on my board. I will be leaning on you heavily for your opinion and your hard work as we move forward through the rest of the year. So get ready. I also want to thank Mike Satry. He just did an amazing job with the Citizen of the Year and the Lifetime Achievement Awards. I also want to extend my congratulations to Jeff and Marcy Larson. I work with them through my business, and I echo everybody's comments about them being really assets to our community and real gems for us to have, fortunate to have them here and living and working in our community. So thank you, Jeff and Marcy. Neil, I don't know, but boy, have you been up to a lot in your life, and I certainly was excited to hear all about it, and I thank you for your contributions to Juneau over the years. Kathy Ruddy, what can I say? Kathy Ruddy was an institution in town. I moved here in 1996. Just briefly, you know, all those great accolades she had. I always think of Kathy as a friend. She was a very dear friend of my brother's, and she welcomed us to town when we came to town. Her and Bill had us over their house several times. Been on the Princeton Hall on some amazing, amazing journeys throughout Southeast. But my fondest memory of Kathy is the day that my wife and I brought our daughter home to Juneau. She was the first one at the airport and the first one to hold Caitlin when we got off the plane. And she was just a sweet lady and full of love. And her and Bill are both dearly, dearly missed. And I'm very happy that Lydia and her siblings were able to receive that award on Kathy's behalf. Finally, I have the pleasure of announcing our new president-elect, who will serve as president of the Chamber Board in 2021 and 2022. So please congratulate our new president-elect, Wayne Jensen, senior partner with Jensen Yorba Wall. That noise you hear in the background is a roar of applause from everybody. Awesome. So I want to thank all the recipients for their achievements. I also want to take a quick moment. I want to thank Craig for his dedication and time that he puts into every week of the Chamber. And I also want to take a minute and thank Maggie McMillan. She's our executive assistant here. She's here running the whole operation, and by that I mean this whole Zoom, I don't even know what to say, this whole Zoom performance of people from all over the world. Without her, it would not have happened. So Maggie, thank you every day for everything you do here for the Chamber. I want to thank everybody here for joining us today, and I would like to extend an invitation for everyone to join us next Thursday, on November 12th. Our speaker will be Admiral Tom Barrett, Chair of the Alaska Marine Lines Highway System Reshaping Working Group. So we look forward to that. With that, our very truncated annual celebration has been concluded. We are planning an annual dinner for next year. We have a reserved date in October, so that will go out soon, and we'll ask you to please mark your calendars and cross your fingers that we're all able to get together, gather, and celebrate not only this year's Lifetime Achievement Awards and Citizen of the Year Awards, but also next year's award recipients. So with that, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine out there in Juneau today. Thank you.